Hello and welcome to Modern Skills in English. Today we're talking about a feeling every single professional has experienced. That cold, sinking feeling in your stomach right after you realize you've made your first big mistake at work.
I think I'm going to be fired. I'm not joking. I feel sick. I've been at this internship for 2 months. Everything was going well, and I just sent the financial report for client A to client B. It's a huge data breach, a huge mistake. What am I going to do?
Take a breath, Mark. That feeling is completely normal. The panic tells you that you care. But what if I told you the mistake itself isn't the real test?
What do you mean? It feels like the biggest test of my life, and I've just failed it. My manager is going to see the email. My career is over before it even started.
Most people in your position think the same thing. They believe the goal is to make the mistake disappear. They focus on how to apologize, how to fix it fast, and how to make everyone forget it ever happened.
Yes, exactly. I want to turn back time. If I can't do that, I just want this to be over.
That's the default way of thinking, but it's a trap. Because your manager isn't just looking at the problem you created, they are looking at you. This moment, the moment right after the error, is more important than the error itself.
I don't understand. How is my panic more important than sending the wrong financial data to a major client? That sounds wrong.
Because the mistake is about the past. It's already happened. But how you respond is about the future. It tells them who you will be as a professional. Let's start with the first thing most people get wrong. What is the first thing you want to do right now?
I want to run to my manager and explain everything. Tell her I'm so sorry, that I was rushing to meet the deadline, that I had 2 files with very similar names open at the same time.
You want to explain why it happened.
Yes, so she knows I'm not stupid or careless.
That feels completely logical. You want to defend your intentions. But to a busy manager, explanations can sometimes sound like excuses. They don't need to know about the file names or the deadline pressure. They only need to know one thing first, that you see the situation clearly.
So, what do I say?
You start with clean ownership. No justification, no emotional story. You simply and calmly acknowledge the facts.
Just walk in and say, I made a huge mistake? That feels like I'm just making it easier for them to fire me.
Not quite. You state the fact and its impact. For example, "Hi, Sarah. I need to inform you that I've made an error. I have sent the client A report to client B. I understand this is a serious issue, and I wanted to tell you immediately." That's it.
No apology? No explanation?
Not yet. The explanation makes it about you. The fact makes it about the business problem. When you acknowledge the reality without drama, you immediately show maturity. You're not a scared student. You are a professional partner in solving a problem, even a problem you created.
Okay, I think I see. It's less emotional. It's just information. I did this. It caused this. It's hard, but it's simple.
Exactly. You've acknowledged the situation. Now comes the second turning point. After the facts, what comes next in your mind?
Apologizing. A lot. I am so sorry. I feel terrible. I promise it will never happen again.
Again, that's where most people go. They believe the primary goal is to be forgiven. They want to show how much emotional pain they are in.
Right, so my manager knows I understand the seriousness of it.
She already knows it's serious. You told her in the first step. Repeating "I'm sorry" over and over doesn't solve her problem. It actually creates a new job for her, managing your feelings.
So I shouldn't apologize?
A single sincere, "I deeply regret this error" is enough. But then you must pivot. The most powerful thing you can do is immediately shift from apology to solution. You need to propose a next step. But I don't have a solution. My mind is just blank with panic. I can't solve a data breach. You don't need the perfect solution. You just need a starting point, even a small one. It shows that your brain has already moved past the panic and is focused on recovery. For example, after you acknowledge the error, you could say, "I have already drafted an email to recall the message. I also have the phone number for our main contact at client B. I propose we call them immediately. What would you prefer?"
Wow, okay. That sounds completely different. It sounds like I'm in control, even though I'm the one who messed up.
You're not in control of the past, but you are taking control of the present. You're giving your manager a choice between two actions, not a problem with no action. You're not asking, what do we do? You're saying, here's what I think we can start doing. It completely changes their perception of you. You move from the person who caused the problem to the person who is leading the response.
So I acknowledge the facts, and then I propose a next step. That makes sense. But what about after? Let's say we fix it. We get the client to delete the email. My manager is happy. But I would still feel this shame. I would just want to forget it ever happened.
And we have arrived at the third turning point, the desire to forget. Many people believe that once the crisis is over, the best strategy is silence. Never mention the mistake again. Hope it fades from memory.
Because bringing it up again feels like reminding them that I failed. Why would I do that?
Because if you don't, a question will always linger in your manager's mind. Has he actually learned anything? Trust is not fully rebuilt until that question is answered. You need to be the one who answers it.
How? Do I just walk up to her a week later and say, hey, remember that terrible mistake I made?
In a way, yes, but you frame it professionally. A few days or a week later, in a quiet moment, you can say something like, I've been thinking a lot about the error I made last week. I've realized my process for sending files was weak. I've decided to implement a new system for myself. Then you explain the system. From now on, before I attach any file, I will use a 3-point checklist: correct client, correct file version, and correct contact person. I will physically tick the boxes. This will prevent it from ever happening again.
So I'm not just promising it won't happen again. I'm showing them the system I built to guarantee it.
Precisely. You are closing the loop. You are showing that you analyze your failures and improve your process. This single action is what turns a big mistake into a powerful demonstration of character. It makes you more trustworthy than you were before the mistake.
That makes sense, but it still feels hard. This all sounds so confident, but I don't feel confident. I feel terrified. What if my mistake is so big that there is no solution? What if they're just angry and don't want to hear my plan?
That fear is real, and sometimes managers are angry. But even then, this framework holds true. Your job is not to control their emotional reaction. Your job is to be a credible professional. A credible person doesn't panic. They don't hide. They face reality. When you acknowledge the truth, propose a way forward, and later implement a fix, you are acting with integrity. Even if they are angry, they will respect your response. Your response is separate from the mistake.
So they're not just judging the mistake, they're judging my response to it. My response is what shows them if I'm credible.
Yes, and it shows something else, something that all companies look for. It demonstrates your resilience. Business is full of problems. Things go wrong all the time. A manager's biggest fear is an employee who collapses or hides when things get difficult. A mistake is an opportunity to show them that when things go wrong, you get stronger. You learn. You recover.
So it's not 3 separate steps. It's one whole mindset. Move from defense to recovery. First, I acknowledge the reality of the problem without excuses.
And that makes you an honest partner.
Then I propose a path forward, even a small one, to show I'm focused on fixing it.
Which makes you a problem solver, not a problem causer.
And finally, after the crisis is over, I show them the new system I will implement to make sure it never happens again.
Which rebuilds trust and proves you are a credible member of the team for the long term.
That whole process, that's professional resilience.
Exactly. You are turning a moment of failure into a story about your character.
It's strange. I still feel bad about the mistake I made. The feeling in my stomach hasn't gone away completely, but I don't feel helpless anymore. I don't feel like a victim of my own error. The path is clear.
The mistake is a moment in time. Your response is what defines the memory. Hello everyone, Sarah here. If today's conversation was helpful, we'd love to know what other professional situations you find challenging. Let us know in the comments what we should talk about next.
Thanks for listening.